before, it was like, yeah, man, rock and roll pizza, baby. You know, let's smack, 150 pizzas, busy, clean up, go have some fun, hang out, come back, It was fun for the time, but now it's, life's different.
Right.
If you really want to grow, you have to take a step back and set the standards and expectations for your team to run it.
Today we're in San Francisco with Neil from Longbridge Pizza Company, and we're gonna take a tour of his pizzeria. Neil and his partner started this place many years ago with a small footprint, and now they have this massive restaurant in San Francisco serving sourdough pizza, and they're making it in 3 different styles of oven. They also have a Detroit-inspired pizza, and they're gonna show us around the kitchen, show us the pizza, and how they operate this great pizzeria in the San Francisco region. So let's get into the episode with Neil and take a tour of Longbridge Pizza Company. Well, thank you so much for having us. Where are we?
We're in Dogpatch at Longbridge Pizza Company.
This is great. How long have you been here for?
A little over 11 years. About 11 and a half years. Wow. We really started pretty small. It was 1,000 square feet.
So how big is it now?
We're at about 3,800.
That's crazy.
For this neighborhood here, you're anywhere from $3 to $5 per square foot.
Okay.
We're in a pretty industrial neighborhood. The building we're in right now used to be the American Can Company. This neighborhood was very, very sketchy. You would not come down here. They have the shipyards in the back. It was an industrial neighborhood that no one came to. It was like, it was a desert, tumbleweeds going around and stuff, right? Now we're getting like retail on the bottom. There's tech companies in the back or upstairs. There's like just so much cool shit going on. Yoga studios, just everything, small little architectural companies, just basically anything you could think of in this massive building. They've like chopped it up and people just have like squares. Right. It could be, some people have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 square feet. I've got 4,000. Some people have like 120 square feet.
Wow. So you started your pizzeria here in 11 years ago now.
Yeah, 2014.
And how did you get started in pizza?
So I got started in pizza from Scott Wiener, Scott's Pizza Tours.
Okay, yeah, I know. That's
so
very familiar with that.
We went on the pizza tour, hit John's, Joe's, Lombardi's. Scott was so enthusiastic, so just, on top of it, telling us stories, giving us the history and everything. So he gave me a list. He's like, hey, when you go back to San Francisco, go check out these pizzerias.
What did he give you?
Pizza Hacker and Tony's.
Okay.
But Pizza Hacker was this rogue guy in the Mission District who had a Weber grill, poured refractory cement, and made a wood oven.
Okay.
With like 3 different pieces you can remove. So he called it the Frankenweber.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm like, all right, I'm really interested in this. I want to get a job in more of a formal setting. So I find that Tony's is hiring for Wood Fire, Neapolitan line.
That his main flagship location?
Yeah, North Beach.
Okay.
So he gave me the opportunity, very grateful. I worked there for a couple years learning how to work in a restaurant and how to work a real oven and just how to really make pizza. And I helped open Capo's, which was his Chicago-inspired really cool restaurant there in North Beach also. I worked there for 6 months. That was like 11, 12. We were building this in 13. And then we opened it in 14.
Oh, wow. So you worked for Tony for a few years. That's why you really learned how to run a restaurant, a pizza restaurant.
How to work in one.
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to run one. I think I'm still learning how to run one.
Good point.
But,
so what kind of pizza did you serve here?
I love that question.
I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's go with artists in New York. We trained the team, sourdough artists in New York.
Okay, good. That's a good way to say it.
And even when we do our Detroit style, we say Detroit inspired.
Okay.
Right? Because even them, the Detroit people who've come in the Midwest, they're a little bit like that too. This ain't Detroit style. Sausage on top.
Now you've been around for a long time, so it must be doing pretty well for you.
Yeah. Every year, we've slowly grown. So I opened this place with a college, we went to high school together. We were college roommates, and then we got together and opened this spot. He owns 50%, I own 50%. Right. And we literally shoestring this thing together, very, very inexpensive. And we did a lot of the work. We laid the tile. My dad would all right, here's the level.
Right.
You guys put the tile on the wall, you know, so we saved as much money as possible. But what we did is we just opened the doors. No going to any PR thing or anything like that, because we didn't know what we were doing.
So did you want to start slow? Was that the goal?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes. We wanted to start very slow. We just wanted to serve the community, right? And just get the doors open and figure out what to do, because we started from line cooks to business owners. No management experience in between, no ordering experience, no vendor relationships, none of that. So we really had to start small and then figure it out on the way.
How long did it take you to, I mean, I know you said earlier you haven't really figured it out. And I don't think you ever really do as a business owner, because you're always trying to grow and get better every day.
Yeah. We were 26 when we opened.
Young.
We didn't have any responsibilities besides our team and making sure and giving the best experience to our team and our guests.
Right.
So we were still going to like music festivals and having fun and stuff. So, 4 or 5 years down the road, I got married. I'm going to be starting a family, and we should probably take this a little more serious.
And that's when it started.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it started with listening to you.
Thank you for that.
When you brought on Donald Burns for one of the episodes,
Oh, yeah.
I started working with him.
Okay,
so I
good.
reached out to him in 2021, and Donald was the person I hired as my restaurant coach.
Oh, nice. Did he come into the store? Did he come in here?
No, he hasn't been in here.
So it's all virtual?
All virtual.
So just giving you systems and like coaching you and saying, all right, this is what, tell me about your business. This is what you need to do, and this is how to do that.
Yeah, and what I really like about him is, a consultant will come into your restaurant, give you everything, here are the recipes, here are the standard operating procedures, and see you later, man, good luck.
Right.
Maybe a check-in here or there. What I like about coaching is that they're giving you tools to set you up. Really, he's helping me with like personal, like mindset. So he's really helped me out with that and how to be a leader. Then it's like systems, processes, but it really starts with people. That's the whole thing. Starts with me and then people and communication. So we have all these different things on how to be better communicators, how to like time management, all the soft skills.
Yeah, definitely. The more I do of these videos and the more pizza shops I go into, pizza is the easy part.
Yeah.
Like the pizza itself, making the pizza, the dough, coming up with the recipes, that's the easy part of the pizza business.
Yeah.
And when you're the owner, it's the part you do the least.
It depends, what you want from your business. If you want to be on the oven all the time, and Andrew and I were on the oven all the time. For the first 5 years, we were here all the time figuring it out.
Right.
Dialing it in, and we were doing these expansions over time. So as we expanded and took more space, we had to like turn equipment, build new systems, build new procedures. So I totally agree with that. If you really want to grow, you have to take a step back and set the standards and expectations and the training for your team to run it. Yeah, and I really think it is like where you are, right? Kind of what I was talking about before, where I was personally.
Yeah.
Before, it was like, yeah, man, rock and roll pizza, baby. Let's smack, 100 pizzas, 150 pizzas, busy, clean up, go have some fun, hang out, come back. It was fun for the time, but now it's, life's different.
Right.
And now
It's fun for a certain period of time. Then you realize like there's other fun things you can do that don't involve that.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we take a look? Can you take us around? Like,
Yeah,
show
of
us around a
course,
little bit?
of course.
The kitchen. Holy, Baker's Pride, Pizza Master.
It's a boneyard. It's
is great.
It's a boneyard. A couple years ago, we built another pass here because with the wall here, like this was expo here and it was tight. It was only like one person if it got really busy. Now our expo is very, like you could have 2 people. You could be running 2 people cutting pies on expo.
How's it? So where do you make pizza here? Here, in the oven here. They come out here.
Yeah.
And then someone's there kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot of takeout? What's the takeout to dine-in percent?
70% takeout.
Oh, so all of it goes there? Even like pizza boxes for takeout, they go there?
Yeah, they're all being pushed out.
So it kind of just flows this way.
Yeah. And it didn't start like this, right? So we started with one component oven.
Yeah.
It was like originally here.
Is that the original one?
No, the original one's in storage.
And that's electric too? Or is that
That's
gas?
electric. Yeah, so that's kind of the one that came out before Pizza Master. That's the one I had worked on in Tony's. His was a corner unit, but it was the component.
Nice.
So I started with 2 decks, then we got another one, we had 4.
So you started, this oven is the same size as the one you originally started with.
Yes.
Can I open this?
Yeah, of course.
So you open that up, you can only fit, what, 4 pizzas in there?
Well, the problem why I don't like that oven, see how deep it is?
Yeah.
So in Italy, the space is so limited, you could go deep, but not wide.
Right.
So
even if you put a pizza in the back, it's kind of tricky to get it out.
you can't get it out.
Yeah.
So you're only doing 3 smalls. We do 13-inch, or like really, you could do a kind of a triangle
Like
on the
2-1?
large.
Yeah.
And then, so it really wasn't that efficient because it's so deep.
Right.
And it's so hot in the back, right? I'm happy with the ovens. We're cranking pies out of there, but I was like, let's get a Pizza Master. And we got the 933 from Pizza Master.
So you work both these on a nightly basis, like both of these are operational, or?
Sunday through Wednesday, we're using the Pizza Master. This one is for gluten-free squares.
Okay.
Gluten-free squares, we just introduced that 6 months ago. So we do gluten-free squares every day. So we cook the squares at a lower temperature. This one's dedicated to square pizza.
Okay.
We do Detroit-inspired pizza, what I was telling you about, every Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you got a Baker's Pride here. Is that gas?
So that's gas. So,
Good old Baker's Pride?
dude, I love it.
These are like 4, 5 pieces that work. So much easier to fix this if it goes down, right?
Absolutely. That thing will run forever.
Yeah.
We put this hood in when we added this second oven, probably 4 years in. So we built the hood. We knew we were going to want 2 ovens, and we could make it work. And then I wanted a hotline. So we had the 6-burner range, small grill, flat top fryer.
Okay.
We turn that on Thursday. So we do the squares in there. And then on Friday and Saturday, when it gets busy, all of these are for rounds, and we'll turn on a deck for the gluten-free squares.
Wait, so if you're using all these ovens, like on a Thursday or a Friday, how many pizzas are you cranking out in the busiest hour?
We could call it 70.
An hour?
Yeah.
How many guys are working that? 3, 4 guys?
I wish.
More?
So we got stretch, 3 toppers,
Okay.
2 oven, expo.
Wow. 7 guys.
It's a lot.
But you're doing hand stretched pizza, so
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into it.
So
Because you got to work the oven too. You got to watch the oven and move it.
yeah, and they're 5-minute pies. They're pretty quick. There's some things that I need to dial in with it. And the second oven guy will be getting drawn to salad a little bit. So he's not completely on it. And then this guy will watch it a little bit.
Can everybody that works in here do everything?
For the most part, you put your aces in your places on Friday night. But yeah, everyone could make a pizza from start to finish. When I hire people, I'm like, hey man, you're gonna be doing everything here. I'm gonna teach you every single thing I know.
Right.
You got people who are drawn to stations, and that's fine. I had an oven guy work the oven for 10 years. He could do everything else.
But he just liked doing that.
He just wanted to do that. Hey man, you find an oven guy like that,
Yeah.
go for it.
Right.
If you don't understand how important it is to stretch because you never stretch, because when holes are in the pizza and there's thin spots, it's like, what the heck?
Right.
But someone who tops and only does topping doesn't understand the importance of stretching, because he's not seeing the effects of a poorly stretched pizza.
Right.
So being able to understand the whole thing is really important.
That's interesting. And what size pizzas do you have? Small and large?
Yeah, small and large, 18-inch and call it 13-inch.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so we've slowly grown. Let's keep it going.
Let's go.
So we bust through this wall, cut it out. We added a walk-in, and we put our dough production, we moved it back here. We did everything in here. This is where the dough lives, in cheese, meats, old trusty Hobart. We bought this thing. I didn't really know what a spiral mixer, I never worked on a spiral mixer. We rented a Hobart for the first 6 months or first year. We had like a little 30 quart on the floor. It was cute.
Is that a 60 quart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we made the investment, bought it. It's a workhorse.
What's the difference between a Hobart and a spiral mixer? Like,
They're just going to say a spiral mixer is going to be a little softer working it so that your like friction factor, it won't raise your temperature, be a little more gentle on the dough. I have never worked on one. So then we added this walk-in. We stored beer here, veggies. This is our starter whole wheat blend, 50-50.
Do you use a different flour for your starter than you do for the dough?
Same.
Same flour?
Same, yeah. So we're doing type 00 normal, central milling, organic, and the whole wheat medium, organic, central milling.
So you're mixing flour?
Yeah.
How much a percentage? You don't have to say if you don't.
Oh, no, I don't care. It's about 15 to 20%.
Do you have a dough person?
Yeah, so we have a prep person, Luis. He works 6 days a week. He comes in at 6 a.m., starts the dough. They're balling by 10 o'clock. It's about 4 hours. So it'll sit bulk for a while. Then we try to get through the lunch rush and start balling around 1 or 2.
Got it.
We've gone through like doing sandwiches for like 2 years. And then for one of those years, we did it all day long. Then for one of those years, we did it till 4 p.m. And then we just cut it all together during COVID. So we've really been trying to like figure it out. So what we've settled on is Tuesday, we do a Smashburger special. Really straightforward, really great beef from a French butcher in the building behind us. Smashburger and curly fries. That's our special on Tuesday. Wednesday, we went back to sandwiches. So now we do a chicken parm, vodka chicken parm, meatball, gabagool, and fresh mozz. During football season, we do wings on Sunday. You know, if you're working a line and you have burgers, you have sandwiches, you have squares, like the quality is going to dip.
Definitely.
The person or two people on those special station are just focused on that. All we got to do is smash burgers today.
Smart.
Bam. You know, and then it creates a little bit of a demand. And then people know, oh, Burger Tuesday, sandwich
you really
Wednesday.
want that, you go for that day.
Yeah, and we bring it consistently. So
I like it.
There was a bathroom back here. Now we have a team restroom. We have our dry storage here. We have our team office in here.
Nice. Lockers. Yeah, perfect. This is awesome.
Yeah, so now we're set. No more knocking down walls for now.
Do you think you're done with this location?
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. So this is it, man. 11 years later, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One piece of advice. Let's wrap it up. What's one piece of advice after all your years of experience running this place? If you were starting over today, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently in the beginning from what you know now? Make
sure your mindset's right and in a good place to take on all this responsibility and stress that you're about to take on, because it is nonstop. But if your head's in a good spot and you're able to communicate and lead your team, you're gonna have a much better chance of being successful.
I love that. Thanks for letting us hang out here and showing us around a little bit. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, Bruce.
This is great.
Yep. Should we make a pizza?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Pizzeria Insider video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below where you're watching this from. And thank you, Neil, for letting us visit the kitchen, try the pizza, and if you are in the San Francisco area, you definitely want to make a stop to Longbridge Pizza Company because they're doing sourdough pizza really well. Have to recommend it highly. So take a look. We'll link everything in the description below this video, and we'll see you on the next episode.
These guys want to do a wedding, like, can you let them taste your pizza? And it's like, all I have left are these square pizzas. That's not what I do. And they're like, oh, we'll taste them. So they taste them and they love those pizzas. I was like, well, if you want those for your wedding, I need to buy like 30 pans. And they said, okay, just include it in the quote. So those guys ended up buying our first 30 pans. That's kind of all when it clicked to me, like, okay, maybe we should go for squares. Felt like it made sense to sort of differentiate yourself out here.
Mark started Square Pie Guys as a pop-up, and now he has a few locations in San Francisco, with this being his flagship location right across from Alcatraz. They serve Detroit-inspired pizza, and they're doing a tremendous job doing it. We took a look inside this on our last trip to San Francisco. Mark gave us a tour, showed us some pizza. We got to try some pizza, and they are looking to expand to more locations in San Francisco, and I think you're going to enjoy this episode of the Pizzeria Insider. Let's get right into it.
Mark, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Bruce. Good to see you. Good to
I
meet
know.
you on my own home turf.
I know we've seen each other we talked on the podcast and
Yeah.
online forever, but I've never been to your spot. This is awesome. This
Yeah.
looks so cool. So first of all, how many locations are you up to, and describe what your business is, by the way.
So we're Square Pie Guys. We are a Detroit-style, fast casual, kind of blending some of my pizza background in where I grew up on Long Island with Detroit style and the beautiful California ingredients that we have access to. So like a modern Detroit-style pizza concept.
And when did you start?
We started as a pop-up in 2018 and then opened our first brick and mortar like 3 miles that way in 2019.
And what location is this?
This is number 3. We opened in 2022, almost 3 years ago to the day. It's
Wow.
like June, July 2022.
And what an amazing location. You can see Alcatraz right there.
Yes.
You can see the Golden Gate Bridge over there to the left.
It's gorgeous down here. I think this is...
Must be super cheap rent-wise.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Could you guys make it cheaper for me? I would really love that. We are in historic Ghirardelli Square. This used to be the old chocolate factory from the famous Ghirardelli Chocolate Company, and now it's a multi-use like commercial property. There's like a little bit of not a hotel, but like a timeshare, a Fairmont property up there.
Oh, super cool.
There's a bunch of good stuff here. They got like a mini golf, an arcade, a lot of things. So it's like very family-friendly spot. The peak season is this summer, which we're really just about to get into. July 4th down here is always insane. It's our July 4th is our strongest sales day at any single store here.
Wow.
It's swamped. Like the line is out the door. We're crushed. I wish we had more of those days. Not too many more, but like maybe 3 more a year.
San Francisco so I'm not from here. So
Yeah.
describe the atmosphere. Is it a very touristy place?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you just want to pan over there, you got like the double-decker tour bus, you got like the bike rentals down there. If we stay here long enough, you'll see these little 3-wheeled yellow cars that come by. So
I saw those.
You got Fisherman's Wharf over there. You have like a Madame Tussauds wax museum and a bunch of stuff. We're super close to a lot of really nice neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, some of the original thought around this location is that we would get the tourism and the locals, but it's been a bit of a struggle to get locals down here. Not gonna sugarcoat it. You know.
Do you do San Francisco is known for that's where all the third-party delivery apps started, right?
Yes.
Do you do a lot of delivery?
That's our whole business, really, like truly. I mean, this location has the healthiest blend between dine-in and direct business and third-party business, but it's also our lowest annual revenue of all our stores.
So what's the percentage of dine-in to delivery for this one?
This is like 57 out the door, 43 dine-in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas our original spot down in 7th and Mission is like 75% out the door.
And are they all set up similarly?
Yeah, they're all basically the same ovens, same fryer, same kitchen setup.
You try to do everything the same. Just
Yeah. We got a
equipment?
good formula. No reason to try to break it. We know how to train people. We have like the processes. So we're tweaking things here and there. We just are starting to add water meters to our stores. That helps speed up dough prep. I've been flirting with dough dividers. Sorry, boss, but haven't found the right product yet, because some of the dough dividers are kind of dumb. They just kind of chop the dough.
Yeah.
I need something that chops and weighs the dough, which I found out is more of like a very fancy piece of bakery equipment that I can't afford or have the space for. So
Yeah, most
one
of them
day.
go by like volume, not necessarily weight, right?
Yeah. So one day we'll get there, but
Does each location make their own dough?
each location makes their own dough.
No thought on like a central commissary kind of stuff?
Definitely a lot of thought. I spent a lot of time last year trying to figure out a commissary or like a par baking situation from a commercial bakery, but yeah, I couldn't get the numbers to work out, and it's felt pretty risky to rent a commissary without really attaching any revenue to it. So
Yeah.
I like what Juan's doing with Triple Beam. Like, it kind of makes sense. They can open the idea is you can open smaller footprint locations. Knowing my wife's from LA and I spent a lot of time down there, knowing what I know about LA, their drivers must work at like 4 a.m. I don't know how they get the dough everywhere. You know what I mean, in an efficient way. Or they can store, the shelf life's pretty good and they have storage. But that, you solve one problem. That's like a lesson in this business. You solve one problem, then you open 16 more problems. So it's like, cool, can we get the dough to the restaurant? Great. Okay, now how are we gonna store 4 days worth of dough? Then you gotta figure that out. So you're just kind of chasing something all the time. So for now, if I get to 20, then I'll probably have a commissary.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can we walk around the location?
absolutely.
Let's go take a look inside. Don't get hit by the Waymo.
No, don't get hit by the Waymo.
All right, so this is it. This is all the locations are pretty similar to this one.
This is the nicest like interior setup, I would say. We put a lot of money into this build.
What was this place before this?
This was a sports bar, so the vibe was totally different. It was way darker. So we brightened it up. We had some of these like wood touches and the tile and plants. This year, one of our projects was to put a lot more hospitality back into the business, coming out of like still sort of coming out of the COVID tendencies. But you can order with our manager or our front of house. You can order with the kiosk, or you can order at your table. So it's kind of a dealer's choice. I think
at the table, do you have a QR code?
Yeah. So I think if you come here a bunch of times, like our regulars, they just walk to the table.
What's on the menu? Like, how big is your menu?
I think we try to keep the pizza menu between 12 and 13 like listed pizzas, including a create your own.
One size?
One size, 8 by 10 inch square. I think it comfortably feeds two people. I'm always telling people if I stretch that dough ball into like a round pizza, it'd be like a 16-inch pizza, because it's like almost a 12-ounce dough ball in an 8 by 10 inch pan. So it's a good amount of dough. And we bake from raw. We don't par bake. So it's still got a nice. It's like still light and has some chew to it, which is nice. It's not like super dense and dry.
How often are you changing your pizzas?
We used to do a quarterly change. This year we're working on some expansion, and we are a pretty tight, scrappy team. So we tried to not do that this year, just because I'd rather focus. We have a sort of like a back of house manager that oversees all the kitchens. I'd rather his attention be focused on training new employees and getting the new restaurants ready with our systems than launching new menu items. Most of our sales are pepperoni pizza. So like no matter what I do, when we have some outliers here, we've done some cool collaboration pizzas with some really neat folks, but we could add all these great pizzas and they don't always get purchased. So it's a lot of effort, and sometimes it's definitely fun. It's a great thing for marketing to have new menu items, new pizzas, collab pizzas for sure. But ultimately people come in, especially new customers, they're like, I've never heard of that person, or what is your Hawaiian, or whatever, what's the Ellen Supreme? And they're just like, I'll just get a cheese, I'll just get a pepperoni.
Yeah.
So
it is interesting.
It's hard to like line up all the work with the, or make all the work pay off rather, to change the menu so often. So this year we kind of took a pause on it.
How many employees do you have?
I think we have like 115 total.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's it like for you on a daily basis? Like, what is your routine?
My project this year was to really hand control over to the director of operations, whose name is Chris, and he was an AGM at our original store and worked his way up. I think towards the end of last year, we were kind of battling over the work, and I really kind of took a step back and realized I'm not allowing this person to grow or be successful in their job, or really even like help me more focus on other stuff by competing with him for the work. So as far as my routine, we are opening 3 restaurants, so it's a lot. Right now it's talking to our design architect team, making sure all the permits are correct, getting ahead of all of the applications you have to do for the different cities, getting the liquor license set up, getting the payroll account set up, ordering all the stuff. Yeah. Just that every day is just a whole list of shit and just paying a lot of money, but
hopefully for
but it's good. What the good news is, like, because Chris is empowered now, like he's hired the GMs. He's passed those GMs off to his right-hand person. They get trained. Like we have these layers, so I don't have to necessarily worry if it's all happening. There's a finite amount of things that I'm focused on, which is good.
So this is the oven you're using. What is the oven you're using?
This is an Edge. It's a 2460, which means a 60-inch belt and 60-inch long, 24-inch wide. If you come on this side,
you say you're cooking all from raw. So how long does it take to go through?
It's about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Secret recipe.
Yeah, it's my Nona's recipe. I can't tell you.
Right,
yeah. So here's the line.
All right.
I don't have a Nona. It's a joke. This is the line. We got our house par-fried chicken. We pre-cook our sausage from Maestro Sausage Co., which is awesome. Vodka sauce, red sauce, ricotta white, buffalo chicken sauce, cheddar, Mott's from Grande, margarita brand cup and char pepperoni, house pickled Fresno peppers, house grilled onions, calamari olives, house pickled jalapenos, the Windsor style pepperoni from Hormel, which is cool, and our mushrooms. And that's basically the make line. Then you got all the builds up here. You go create your own guide.
So this is like for sauces, that's for toppings.
Yeah, so it all flows this way. And then, you take your dough, make your cheese, put your sauce, put your toppings, and then you throw it in the oven. Boom.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Oh, I see all these pizzas here too.
Yeah, so we have a section, we make our own gluten-free dough in-house, so we have our gluten-free section over here so it doesn't get cross-contaminated, and then everything rests on here, chopped, boxed up, or put on a tray for dine-in. We have our finishing station. We have a couple different cheeses, some green onions, a garlic sauce. We normally have a spicy ranch up here too, and those certain pizzas get drizzled. So if you
And then
see,
just like what they're supposed to look like when they're done. Yeah.
exactly. And so you see like some of them will get like the buffalo chicken gets buffalo sauce and ranch. The veggie pie guys gets the sun-dried tomato vinaigrette. We don't have the spicy pepperoni gets the spicy ranch. The Hawaiian gets the grana and the green onion. So once they know how it's supposed to look, and then showing them how to plate the dine-in stuff.
Oh, so you already have everything kind of systematized.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, this is just a tool, like we still have to watch and make sure people are doing it right. People have to, the hardest thing about these guides is you make them, and if people don't reference them, then they're not really that good. So.
Yeah, they're useless.
Yeah.
And then what's all this area for?
This is all staging, so like all of our to-go bags, we sell ice cream pints to go. We have like little freezer bags for them. You have your peppers, your cheese, your peppers, your napkins, plates, utensils. We got dine-in utensils. On the other side is a cabinet with more plates for dine-in. Silverware, they build all the boxes here. Box storage, liner storage. I think this is sauces and backups for over here, like ranch and other sauces backups.
And then these are the pizzas that come out.
Yep.
That's the most popular right there.
Right there, most popular. We used to call it the 6x8 because it's 6 across, 8 down. And people would get confused and say, I want an 8x10 pizza. I don't want a 6x8. I was like, oh no, it's the pepperonis. So sometimes don't be too clever. It's fun to be clever with your naming. I get it. But if people start to get confused, then what's the point?
And I like that you say you say pizza, we say pie.
Yeah.
So people confuse a pie for like a apple pie or something?
Yes, especially when we first opened here, when we had our old branding and logos, it was the two guys.
Yeah.
And so people would come in here and be like, what kind of, is it savory pie? Is it apple pies? And I was like, oh, interesting. So we met a woman out in Oakland who did like really awesome shirts. And we asked them if they did branding. They do branding. So they did the rebrand with the Cobalt and the pizza slice and these like two little guys down here.
What did you do before you did pizza?
I sold the software over the phone. Like I almost got the job at Slice.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was. It's an old story, but I had an offer for a sales manager job, and I was going to move back to New York, and we couldn't get the terms right, and so I took a different job out here and stayed here. And that's when I was doing the pop-ups. So there's a world where you would have known me as a sales guy at Slice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But you had no restaurant background.
No.
How did you know how to do all of this?
I didn't, and I have to give credit to my former business partner, Danny.
So he was the one that like, all right, this is the cooler we need.
Totally.
This is the system we need.
100%.
Yeah.
That was his expertise. And he came from that world. So just new people in the restaurant industry. Most of them cautioned me not to do this. But the pop-ups really took off, and we felt like we had something there, so we went for it. It's really interesting to me actually to look at what maybe sets Square Pie Guys out from other Detroit-style places. I see a lot of Detroit-style places that stick to tradition, which is like not a bad thing. Like we don't put the sauce on top. We don't put the pepperonis underneath the cheese. We don't use brick cheese. Like I was saying outside, it's more built like a New York style Sicilian slice shop slice pie than it is.
You're just using Detroit style pans.
We're just using Detroit style pans. So it's like we took a format and we sort of tweaked it a little bit to make it something more of our own.
Any desire to do rounds or anything like that? Have you ever tried it out of here?
They work amazing out of the oven.
Yeah.
Lloyd makes this like disc. It's called the Hearth Baked Disc. It's incredible. Like you can make a really sick round pizza on these ovens. I'm enamored with these ovens. I always find it funny people like throw a lot of shade at the belt oven.
Well, I think they throw a lot of shade at the belt oven if you cook like a New York style pizza out of it.
Yeah, but you can. You actually can.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So we're not like insanely high hydration. We're like 65, 66, somewhere in that range. I think these ovens, because there's so much airflow through the oven, they kind of dry the dough out. But if you use a higher hydration dough, it actually sort of works in your favor the way that this thing bakes.
Yeah.
And you can get a really crunchy, crispy bottom. You're using good sauce, you're using good ingredients, like it's gonna come out pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's just about the process. I think
Yeah.
the bad feeling that people have for conveyor ovens is because most people who have conveyor ovens don't really care about the dough as much.
Yeah. They're the big guys and the
Exactly.
Yeah, for
Domino's,
sure.
Pizza
I get that. But I mean more like, because this is part of our success. Like, I don't have to. I've never had to close on a Friday because my oven guy didn't come in.
Right.
We don't have an oven guy.
Yeah.
We,
I mean, the Detroit style pizza is probably a little easier to do. Is it easier to train that than a New York style, you think?
Yeah, for sure. But the training's just different. Like, the portioning is so important to how you build this pizza. Like, I think it's all about precision for this pizza, because if you don't lay the cheddar down sort of exactly how we think it should be done to our process, you end up with like an orange edge, which I think looks kind of gross and like cheap. And if you look at the pizza over there, it's like got this beautiful brown edge. Yeah. I do like the real creamy vodka sauces, but I feel like you just need to add more flavor. So this is kind of the cheddar edge.
Yep.
It's important to kind of lay it out with the border, so you have the correct distribution of sauce to cheese, so sort of the signature edge. We'll put the pickled jalapenos down underneath, and I like to build everything from sort of the outside to the middle, so that it's not all stuck in the middle and soggy. Don't waste any cheese.
This isn't a huge make line right here.
No, it's not. And we do try to, there are times of year when we have more toppings, so they'll be pulling stuff up, but we really do try to keep it just to this.
So on a Friday night, is there just one guy making pizza or two?
Two guys. So one guy will kind of be over where you're standing doing like the sauce and from the front loaded stuff, and then the other guy will be over here doing this stuff. So we'll put this is the shredded Windsor style pepperoni, which we enjoy playing with. It was something Hormel brought to us, and we said, that's unique, no one's doing it. Again, it kind of, call it like a bacon substitute in a way.
Yeah.
And this is the classic cup and char.
And you put a certain amount of pepperonis on?
So this pie gets 36.
Any advice for someone who's looking to get started?
Get your own internal emotional stuff figured out. Be able
Good
to,
advice.
Yeah. Try to be able to know that weird and shitty things could happen, and you just got to be ready for it and have like a strong mindset and a self-belief. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, I like that advice.
Yeah, it's really a people business, and it's not just the customers. It's more about the people that work for you.
Yeah.
Try to really decide very early on if you want to be the chef owner or you want to be the owner. If you don't want to be the chef owner and you're stuck in that spot, you're going to be very unhappy. And if you want to be the owner, but you haven't figured out how to like hire people and get people to sort of work underneath your leadership, you're going to be disappointed.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for letting me show you around.
Yeah.
Show
Thank you for
these
coming.
people around and
I
hang
love
out
it.
and see
I love
some
it.
pizza.
Bruce, you had us on in 2019, so
I know, that's right.
You've been following us since the start. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. It's good to see you in
Yeah,
person.
likewise. Yeah.
Like you were doing enough business consistently where you're like, all right, if I had a brick and mortar, I know people would come.
Any brick and mortar, any like small business is a huge investment and risk, but yeah, like it felt good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a no-brainer, but like it made sense to me.
Eric's got 2 out-of-site pizza locations, and they are doing a unique style of pizza. They are bringing Eric's culinary background and mixing it with pizza in San Francisco in the downtown area. They're doing Peking duck pizza. They have a Pat Sajak pizza. They're putting fruit on pizza, but they're also doing pizza in the traditional New York-inspired way. We took a tour around Eric's location. He showed us around. We tried the pizza, and we talked about how he got started and what they're trying to build in the San Francisco pizza scene with out-of-site pizza. So I think you're gonna enjoy this one. Let's get right into it with Eric.
I know your background is not pizza, right? It's like more
It's like,
traditional?
I've been making pizza, I'm like in my mid-30s, but I've been making pizza since I was like 17.
Really?
But I mean, the pizza's always just a job, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I worked at a bar and grill, had a couple baker's prides and fucking like pre-made crust. That's pizza, you know?
Yep.
Worked at another baker, you know, like bar and grill, kind of like that. And then it's like in between jobs, it's like, all right, you know, just go make pizza.
Are you from San Francisco?
No, I'm from Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been out here for like 18 years.
Okay, so you've kind of been around here for almost half your life now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What's the pizza scene like around here?
If you ask me that question, like, you know, pre-pandemic, I'd probably say like there's pizza scene, but it's just like dominated by Neapolitan.
Okay.
You know, there's a handful of people out there who are like really trying, but you know, like there's, you know, there are your hitters, you know, but like Tony, he was kind of the pizza scene for the longest time.
Yeah, I went to his spot last night. He was one of the first person that I had on the podcast because he was kind of like the most well-known person for a long time between Pizza Expo and what he was doing with the acrobatic stuff and
Oh,
all that
100%.
stuff.
I was like, it's crazy. I was watching him in high school on the Food Network.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's like for the scene now though, I think there's now a scene, and so that torch is like slowly being handed off or whatever.
How long have you been open for, like your first location, your Outta site?
So we started as a pop-up in 2020, you know, pandemic pop-up,
Yeah.
but like we opened our brick and mortar in 2021. No, in 2022. Yeah, so we'll be 3 years at the other shop, and then this shop just opened in February.
So 3 years you've been open, and I said, hey, I'm going to San Francisco. Where should I go? Your name popped up.
Cool.
So that's great that
Yeah.
you're obviously doing some good stuff. And what kind of style of pizza would you say you make?
Many people will say many different things, but like, you know, we make pizza, like we make.
How do you describe it? I hate to say style, right? Like, how do you describe it?
We make a big pizza. We make an 18 or 20 inch pizza. We make them for slices, but we take bread technique because we're in San Francisco and Northern California has been so prominent with like sourdough, fermentation, bread and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, apply some of those techniques to the dough. Obviously use like local like Northern California ingredients or whatever, but just but also trying to keep it like pizzeria style. Like not cracker, matzo crispy, but has like a little bit of like, you know, chew and like fluff to it.
Yeah.
But not your like prototypical, like what I would say San Francisco pizza was before, which is just like a big old doughy, you know, crust.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's basically a big breadstick. And there was only a handful of places in San Francisco that were trying to do like an actual like New York style, like thin and crispy slice.
Okay.
But I don't know, like people could never really nail down like what pizza was actually supposed to be like in the Bay Area.
I mean, 2020, there's so many people who started pop-ups in 2020 because, you know, a lot of people probably wanted to do pizza and then they got, you know, laid off or furloughed from their job. They had nothing to do. It was like the perfect time. When you started your pop-up, like what was it like? Where'd you go and how'd you find business?
Well, I've been like the San Francisco food community here, and like for like restaurants and bars, is like pretty it's very insular. Everyone like really knows each other and supports each other. And so I've been in like restaurants for a long time. So I did have a pretty good network before, which is nice. Like one day I was thinking, oh, should I make bread today or bagels or pizza?
At your house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I was like chatting with another friend who was a baker, and we were just kind of like shooting some ideas back and forth. And I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to try today. Here's what I'm going to try tomorrow, wherever. And my whole thing was I just didn't want to have like the pizza hacker recipe because I knew that recipe.
Okay.
And that was a kind of like a tried and true. And so yeah, I just like went down the rabbit hole. Basically, it's like 2 or 3 times a day was like doing a different kind of pizza. You know, started like doing like drops and just like having people like DM the Instagram or whatever.
Okay. So you started an Instagram account to kind of put pictures on there and videos and stuff?
Yeah. It was completely an Instagram business at first.
Okay. That's super cool.
Yeah. And like just after about like 4 months, like we went from like hand mixing it to like a KitchenAid mixer, 10 quart, 20 quart, and just kept building up. Then eventually I was thinking about like leaving my job at the time. Like I was like the culinary director of a group of breweries here.
Okay.
And so like I had like access to like a lot of ingredients and equipment at that time. But I was like, let's start trying to make this pizza and have people like actually like try it. Yeah, people just like really liked it. And I was like, oh, here's like being blowing smoke out my ass. Cause it's like everyone's trying to support each other at that time.
Right. Do you think everybody's just being nice?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like no one wants to fucking like, you know, like, oh, sorry, like everyone wants to like, you know, like poo-poo anything, you know, like, well, everyone's still
Especially if it's
struggling.
free and you give it to them.
Yeah,
No one's gonna be
exactly.
like, this is horrible. No.
Yeah. So I was trying to find a place to do pop-ups at, have it be consistent. Like I took a consulting job for like another restaurant at the time too. But yeah, it was like, here's the dream. Here's to get like better pizza in my eyes into more people's hands in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we were like, we had a couple of old friends who had a wine bar that needed
What ovens were you using at the time?
using a Baker's Pride just like that.
Were those right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think P44.
How were you carrying them around?
Oh no, like we stationed it. Yeah,
okay.
So like we found a home in a wine bar,
Got
and
it.
like just like you had to do a small electrical upgrade, you know, get the oven in there and everything. But that was also an investment on like, you know, our part and then like our friends' part, because we were like broke and we needed jobs, we need to be self-employed, you know.
Yeah.
But because of like the mandates, like they were a wine bar, they needed food and everything.
Got it. Because at the time of 2020, you couldn't really do anything business-wise business-wise restaurant unless you serve food, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we got really lucky because it's like we didn't have to schlep it anywhere. You know, like we had the oven there, we had the mixer there. It was a small like little kitchen or whatever, and we were cranking. We started for doing 2 days, just like Friday and Saturdays, and then we ended up being Tuesday through Saturday at the end. But we were there for almost a year and a half, and it was like just park-lit or pickups. Then it was finally indoor and then outdoor, and then we started doing like catering out of it. But then I think our natural progression was that like we outgrew it and we needed to have an actual like brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Because the business was like the demand was there.
How many pizzas were you selling a night, like during the pop-up days?
I think like we get 90.
Really? That's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a good amount.
For those ovens.
Yeah. I mean, but that was like, cranking. I think 65 was like a good night. But like in the peak of summer and we do all these like fun specials and whatnot, like we could like start and then start and not stop, essentially.
But you made enough, like you were doing enough business consistently where you're like, all right, if I had a brick and mortar, I know people would come.
It was, I mean, any brick and mortar, any like small business is a huge investment and risk. But yeah, like, it felt good.
Yeah.
It felt like the right time, especially with like San Francisco opening up again, and like the area where our first shop is at. Like it was kind of like it wasn't a no-brainer, but like it made sense to me.
Is the first shop similar layout to this one?
Yeah. We're like slice shops. Like the other one has a couple of tables in it, but it's just order at the counter.
Yeah.
If you have a seat, you have a seat. If you don't, you don't. Maybe you sit down with a stranger, make a friend.
Yeah.
But the area where the other shop is in was like the roughest neighborhood in the United States. You see it on the news, you see it on like whatever. It's just like all the riffraff in the streets, like the downfall of San Francisco. It came from that neighborhood.
Really?
But I love that neighborhood. And it was like a neighborhood that like my partner and I like had like a lot of connection to, and it was like our shop is a block away from the Civic Center, which has like City Hall, has the federal building, has a bunch of parks and everything. It's the most densely concentrated population of children and like ethnic minority diversity in like the Bay Area, and so it was like a place that like we knew that was going to come back, but like it was going to take like the time to or whatever.
What's it like now there?
Oh, it's great. I mean, like it's still an inner city. You go to inner city like Boston, Austin, like whatever, Los Angeles. It has like its issues, but like it's looking pretty damn good right now.
So your other shop's similar to this one. How many square feet is this one? This looks like 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, I mean like up and down they're both about 1,400.
So you do prep downstairs?
Yeah. This one has a prep kitchen. The other place has our office.
Okay. And you do the dough at each location?
Yep.
Like each location does their own dough?
Yep.
And you're making dough every day?
Oh yeah, we're making a lot of dough every day.
Yeah. Are you guys busy now?
Yeah, we're very busy. It's all just been like week after week. It just gets busier and busier. But we're lucky because like every once in a while we get like a big bump.
Yeah.
Like Infatuation had like top 20 in the United States, and they put us on that one. Then Food and Wine had 10 must visit. Like that was a couple weeks ago. Like we were like number 8 on that one. And so just like stuff like that. And then like the local ones, like our Chronicle or our local Infatuation or Eat or whatever will be on the list.
Do you seek those out, or they just find you?
They just find us.
Yeah, just from word of mouth?
Yeah. Like we have like a pretty staunch and like fine line in the sand of like we don't fraternize or reach out with folk who may or may not try to use us for their advantage.
Right. Like influencers, you mean?
Sure.
The reason I like to come talk to guys like you is because you have a great story, right? And there's a lot of people out there who want to open a pizza shop like you, and sometimes you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I love hearing like how you did it, because every story is different. I've done so many of these videos, and every single story, the pizza shop could be exactly the same, but how they got there is completely different.
Yeah, and like I've been in this business. I've opened up restaurants for other people, like many times before. I've consulted for them. I've opened up like a personal restaurant before that was a failure or whatnot. But it's like that taught me everything, and like that kind of information was invaluable. End of the world at the time when things didn't work out or whatnot.
Right.
But like these are the kind of things that like I would like to talk about for other people's benefit, because like if I had like that kind of like hindsight, like foresight, maybe I wouldn't have done it. But everything happens for a reason, I guess, and so I'm happy that I'm here right now. But like it didn't go without having like a lot of struggle and trial and error.
What was like the biggest struggle?
Honestly, just trying to keep people happy. Like customers, employees, yourselves, my partner, and everything. Like we're here as a pizza business to provide food that is comfort for like a lot of people. Like we try to use good ingredients, we try to make it accessible and everything. But like when you do that with like good ingredients cost money. You know,
Right.
living and working, operating in San Francisco costs a lot of money. You know, and so just like trying to please and like make everyone happy. Like that comes with like its own set of boundaries and everything. But like I think that we've gotten where we wanted to be.
Good.
You know, after a while, but it didn't come easy.
Your pizza shop is pretty simple, right? Like you have a counter and you have what? Do you have a Pizza Master oven?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, you like the Pizza Master oven?
I mean, I hate it now. I've been working with the Pizza Master since 2014.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like when they first got
That's
here,
when
right?
they first came out. Yeah.
From where are they from? Sweden?
Yeah, from Sweden.
Yeah.
If I could like redo things, I might have just gone with good old-fashioned baker's pride and kept it with gas.
Like gas?
Well, there's like a baker's pride, like a repair person, like in every city. You know?
True, yeah, because these electric ovens have, if there's a problem that goes wrong, it's like a car, right? Like cars from the 60s or 70s, you could easily fix yourself, but now there's so much electrical going on.
There's a handful of people who know how to service them. Pizza masters. You might have met a couple.
Yeah.
But like, you have to get your electricians in on it and everything.
Yeah.
But like that one right there, like that one hasn't had that many issues. Christian, what would you say like the average on like the other shop, the oven having an issue?
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every two weeks.
That'd be so stressful.
Yeah, and so it's like, we run phase 3 over there, and so like that's like a lot of power. Like the adjustments that we had to do recently were just kind of like, we'll switch the panel around where because it draws a lot of power. But like it's still like it's having like its little issues. But I just can't call someone to come look at it, like the motherboard in there is crazy.
So if you had to do it all over again, would you just pick a different oven?
It's hard. It's really hard because I know that like
does this make a superior pizza to a Baker's Pride?
I think, but I mean, Baker's Pride's been making great pizza for years, in other shops and everything. We're gonna try and scale at a certain point.
Yeah.
And I think that like one thing with like Outta site is that we like try to make really good pizza like accessible to like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then so like these 2 shops of ours, the first ones, we'll stay doing the same thing over and over again. But like if we want to go out to the suburbs, and like open up a shop and like because our thing is like we do like fun like zany toppings or whatever, but like if we can like do something like that, but then like can make the product more consistent, with just like the dough ballers, the press, like the conveyors, like why not,
Yeah, so you're not anti like technology to help you out.
Well, I think that AI and robots are going to rule everyone one day. So.
Some pizza guys are very like anti-technology.
I used to like I've done like a lot of different food in my day or whatever,
Right.
and like I've done like Japanese, I've done French, I've done like high-end Chinese, whatever. But like across the board, it's like things become more accessible and become more like mass-produced or whatever because people want them,
Yeah.
Like everyone's a foodie now, so it's like everyone wants to like
True.
try sushi, but it's like you can't teach everyone this like craft, and so it's like there's like sushi rollers, or there's like literally like robotic like woks,
Yeah.
And it's like I also would have said this like 10 years ago, being like, hell no, like takes the heart out, we're artisans, we're craftsmen, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I do have like a dream of like my retirement plan will be like having a small pizzeria where I make all the pizzas, by
Like
hand.
just you.
Yeah. And that'll be my retirement plan.
Yeah. But that's after you've built a
That's-
business that you can like save enough money to retire.
Exactly.
So you gotta make that money first.
Yeah, and like that one was gonna come with like, cutting some certain like variables out.
What's one piece of advice you give to someone who's watching this video, who's looking to open a pizza shop or start a pizza business? Like what's one piece of advice you'd give back? Maybe something that you wish you would have known back in the day.
Well, I give this to everyone that like who hits me up in the DM or like sends an email. It's like, oh, hey, I'm really curious about opening up a shop. I love pizza. I've never worked in the restaurant industry before, et cetera, et cetera. Like, go and give 80 hours a week of your life to a pizza maker or a restaurant, and do that for like a couple months, and see if that feels good. And if it does feel good and you come out of that like still juiced and like entertained about like the whole idea, fuck yeah, go for it.
I love it. Making pizza at home for your friends and family is much different than like owning a pizza business. If you just like making pizza, just buy an uni oven and make pizza.
Oh, 100%. I'm just like, yeah, like, I don't follow this guy on the internet, but like I see his stuff everywhere. But like he has like it seems like he has like a little like pop up for his friends of like doing Smashburgers in his backyard or whatever, and he makes it look just like a little diner,
Yeah.
But then he's like a couple months later, it's like I'm actually considering like doing this full time. Like no, stay where you are.
Yeah.
Stay where you are.
Yeah.
Exactly where you are. All your friends who are telling you to like take this further are not your friends anymore.
It's so much different out there once you like start a business doing it. And you have to like support the rent and the employees and payroll and all that stuff. It just becomes a different animal.
Working with the local and federal government on their bullshit regulations and everything, and their permitting.
Yeah, I know that's hard. I mean, here in California, I've heard horror stories from people and my friends in LA who have started pizza shops, and I'm sure it's not that much different up here.
Yeah, I mean, like, they just don't give you a blueprint, you know, and then, like, when you do something wrong, it's like you're like the enemy, you know, you're the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Oh, how dare you install this sink without, like, panels on the side?
Right, yeah.
I think, like, our health department right now is, like, severely short-staffed, you know, so it's like, you know, it hurts small business trying to open because it takes, like, a long time for the health inspectors to come out. I just wish that all across the board, people in these cities that, like, make these decisions will just, like, realize that we're not trying to pull fast ones, we're just trying to get businesses open, create jobs, feed the people.
Yeah,
you know?
perfect. Perfectly said. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. So this one is, see, I told you, they got some unique pizzas here. This is the Double Dragon. This is like what you would say is more of a traditional New York style pizza. This one's the Pat Sajak. They had a Vanna White one, but now it's a Pat Sajak. It's got nectarines. It's got Mike's Hot Honey, ricotta, white pizza. And then this is a specialty pizza that they have. It's the Peking Duck. It's almost like a grandma style crust. You can see it's like a mixture between a grandma and a Detroit. And it's got hoisin, mozzarella, tea-smoked duck, crispy shallots, basil, and a Szechuan sauce that you can see like the red Szechuan sauce on top. This is kind of what I was talking about when I said Eric brings his culinary background to pizza. This is one of those pizzas. Now, I don't know if this pizza would work in a lot of different markets. Maybe it would, but in San Francisco, Eric said that they have a unique palate. Like they have a sophisticated palate when it comes to pizza. California Pizza Kitchen is from this area, and these pizza toppings that you see here are very much in line with what people like. All right, here we go. Trying this Peking duck one here. It looks good. It's smoking too. See the bottom there? And a little crispiness on the side. All right, here we go. I'm going in for the bite. The Peking duck one, that's really got a light crust there. You can see the good crumb structure. The crust is soft, so this like a little crispy on the bottom because they reheated it, but in here it's real soft. Nice crispy shallots on top, and that hoisin sauce is really good. Makes it gives it a little bit of a tang and a sweet crisp there. So it looks heavy, but it's not heavy at all. Really, really light. All right, so this is their round one, New York, cooked. They do a 20-inch pizza, and this is the Pat Sajak. This is nectarine, ricotta, Mike's Hot Honey on a white pizza. Let's try this one out. A subtle flavor to it. It's so thinly cut. Probably cut on a mandolin with the ricotta and the Mike's Hot Honey, and not overly done. Sometimes people use that Mike's Hot Honey and they're like, it's like Mike's Hot Honey overload. But that one's done pretty well. Not pretty well, really well. And it's not overly, none of the flavors are overpowering. They all kind of go together well. This one's got tomato sauce, basil, pesto, basil on top. And I love how they do the shredded cheese on top that way. I love it like that. This one's got a little spicy kick to it. Arrabbiata sauce, basil. So that sauce is a little zesty, a little oomph. There'll be a little bit of a spiciness to it. So I think these are really good pizzas. No wonder why they're really busy here. What day is it today? It's Thursday. Get some slices to go. How do you do?
Well, that was our trip to San Francisco for the Pizzeria Insider series. Where are we going next? We got Los Angeles, we have Orlando, we have Columbus, we have New York City, Long Island. So many great places we're coming up. Hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment below where you're watching this from. We appreciate you, and we'll see you back here next time.